Ladies and gentlemen, they still want to impeach President Trump, which is very likely what the special counsel's testimony is all about. And with his latest sentiments that have gotten under the skin of Democrats, which ensure that Pelosi cannot criticize the wonderful and talented and amazing AOC and others, which is a political ploy that was absolutely brilliant. Democrats always say, oh my God, we're so offended, but they offend, and I explain how they're constantly offending, and they're constantly engaging in very, very egregious revisionist history. In the Jerusalem Post, I explain why wonderful Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has no right to condemn Trump for what he stated recently, when she has stated far more egregious things, making a mockery, insulting historical record. Share my Jerusalem Post article everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. That is below. The same time period in history that they've utilized to try to paint the Trump administration is the same time period that they've completely engaged in revisionist history. And if any other person, a denier or a revisionist historian, said what AOC had stated, I mean, it would be front page news as, oh my God, look what the right has become, and look how they're trying to distort historical record. But if it's AOC, and I explain in my Jerusalem Post article, oh, it's no problem. I mean, we can go in. It's not just AOC. There's other Congress representatives in the House who've stated horrible things. And they expect context. They expect leniency, forgiveness. But with Trump, what he was able to do is ensure the one thing Pelosi wanted to accomplish will never be accomplished. Now they have free reign. Now they really do control the Democratic Party, which is what Pelosi and Maureen Dowd, the axis of Shevil, if you will, tried to mitigate. Okay? But I'm speaking in kind of roundabout terms because I have to. You have to nowadays speak in roundabout terms. You can't say certain words. But they want to utilize Mueller's testimony. First of all, Trump's latest sentiments. There are people of all different backgrounds that agree with him. So by definition, it can't be racist. It is crude, it's rude, it's uncouth, but it's not as bad as what Democrats have stated. And in addition to that, not only do they want to use that as grounds to impeach President Trump, which is hilarious, because it didn't even violate Twitter policies. Okay? Me telling certain writers off violated Twitter policies, but that had nothing to do with me deleting my account. I just wanted to. I just realized that why am I wasting time here? So I deleted my Twitter account and Facebook. But anyway, you know why. I always explain why. But didn't even violate Twitter rules, which is hilarious. So like, oh my God, the country, the value system of the country. Look what Trump is doing. It's fine according, and that algorithm and that social media site is geared towards silencing conservatives. So anyway. And you know what? They want to impeach Trump. And they're going to use any excuse, any soundbite from Robert Mueller. And the evidence was not sufficient. It's literally not sufficient, which really means there was no evidence. If there was even a sliver, even just one bit of evidence, they would have used it to try to impeach Trump or indict Trump. They were after him. They couldn't find anything because it's all linked to Madam Secretary, the Golden Muumuu, Madam Cyberhack. Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. CrowdStrike was outsourced by Democrats. Alexander Downer is linked to the Clinton Foundation. The ODNI and DHS intelligence reports state categorically judgments are not based on fact. Judgments can be wrong. We do not guarantee. There are no warranties to anything we state. The United States government does not stand with by 100%, cannot say with certainty that the DNC was even hacked. And a judge recently stated that the United States cannot make the claim, the erroneous claim, or the claim that without any fact to back it up, that social media sites were directed by Putin to engage in anti-Clinton Facebook ads. By the way, there were also anti-Trump Facebook ads as well. That's hilarious. Then you have George Papadopoulos, then you have Carter Page, who were basically unlawfully surveilled. You have FBI Peter Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, all of them utilizing, deceiving FISA judges. The FBI deceived FISA judges, did not let the judges know that the Steele dossier was complete nonsense, not only unverified, complete nonsense with numerous false statements like the Russian embassy in Miami. There is no embassy in Miami. Or Michael Cohen meeting with intelligence officers in Prague. He never went to Prague. And numerous, 5 years of cultivating Trump. They didn't. It's all nonsense. Which is why I say Clinton's running again. 6 minutes in, that's right, I said it. I said it. Okay? When people say to me, and I mean, I'm very fortunate. I watch him every day, and I watch Tim Pool and Styx every day. But Styx yesterday was on my channel. Very honored, and he wrote something in my comments section, and we had a great discussion going. He doesn't believe Clinton is running, and Styx has a better record than I do on predicting things, although I'm no slouch myself. I predicted in 2015 in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and Salon that Clinton would lose to Trump. And I'm saying, in my humble way, that Clinton is definitely running. Okay, what is this all for? And by the way, I watch Styx and Tim Pool and Black Conservative Patriot pretty much every day, and some others too. There's a bunch of YouTubers that I just love and inspire me. But if not Clinton, then who? Because I have yet to be given a name. So I tried and when people say she's not running, dude, who? Why do you think Mueller is testifying again after he stated he wouldn't if it's not for one person or one couple? My extension. The Democratic Party is my extension. It's an extension of Bill and Hillary. Now, they're going to use the Mueller report as a means to impeach Trump or try to or threaten impeachment. They still want to impeach Trump, which they should, and they'll fail at that also. They failed in the election in 2016. They failed to set up and frame and fabricate Trump, allegations against Trump. They failed in the special counsel. They were not successful in the latest spin regarding obstruction. They will not be successful. And I do believe they're either going to get close to or try to impeach Trump. I think they're going to impeach Trump because they own the House. And after Mueller's testimony, there's going to be some kind of soundbite. We know that from Congressman Devin Nunes. Check my last segment out, where in the Washington Examiner he talks about, there are back channels. That term they love to use. Back channel. Left, but. They're almost certainly trying to get Mueller to give them something juicy so media will run with it, even though there's no evidence to indict on anything. Democrats confident the majority will be in favor of impeachment after Mueller's testimony. Okay, one Democrat prediction, a Monday podcast appearance. There was corrupt intent. In other words, the president intended to change to affect the ongoing, but no, he didn't. Who cares? It didn't affect the proceeding. And they run under the obstruction allegations are under the premise that it was a lawful probe. It was an unlawful probe with evidence purchased by his political rival. They would never allow the reverse to be true. Mueller basically lays out 10 provable acts of obstruction. No, most of them are Comey says this, Michael Cohen says this, and Jeff Sessions' staffer says this. And Don McGahn says this. Who cares? He didn't do anything. And when they say, well, Watergate, there's obstruction, want to know why there was obstruction? Because there was an actual break-in, which is against the law. The United States didn't have to outsource, or the Democrats didn't have to outsource a company to look into whether the DNC was broken into. It was. With this, we have no clue if the DNC was even hacked because the company one in the indictments of Russian intelligence officers is CrowdStrike. So if these Russian intelligence officers had to fly to the United States, which they won't, and actually had to defend themselves, they would say, well, does the U.S. government stand by 100% with certainty that it was hacked by us? By Russia, by these intelligence officers that are here, if they went to court or whatever. It's based on Company One, and the latest allegation, the indictment of the Russian troll farm, the Internet Research Agency. There is no link or evidence that says that the United States has proving that the Kremlin or Putin told this company to buy Facebook ads. They also bought Facebook ads that were detrimental to Trump. One very famous left-leaning activist supposedly was duped by one of the ads to go into an anti-Trump rally. We have no clue how many. When they say interfere, I would love to debate anyone with a major platform on the left and say they didn't interfere at all. Where's the evidence? Well, they did this. Great. How many votes did it alter? Well, it might have altered a lot. We don't know. Exactly. When you make a categorical claim, you need facts to back them up. They interfered. How? Simply buying Facebook. If you bought Facebook ads in another country's election, you have no clue if you actually interfered in the election because you don't know if anyone saw the ads. We have no clue how many people saw the ads in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Ohio. We have no clue how many people saw any ads in swing states. And then they say, well, they hacked the DNC. Well, we have no clue about that. But then again, that's corruption within the Democratic Party. They cheated Bernie Sanders. See, when people say, oh, you said Bernie's going to win. Well, which one is it? Which one is it? They cheated Bernie Sanders or they didn't? Because Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. I had the pulse of what was going on in 2016. Especially when people say, oh, well, the indictments are imminent. She committed crimes. What do you want from me? I didn't know that Strzok and Page were, the wild thing. I didn't know. I'm supposed to know these people, are friends with benefits? I'm good, but I'm not that good. What am I? I'm supposed to know what they're texting? That James Comey is engaged with one of the most crooked, deceitful, I'm supposed to know all this reptilian. How can you know unless it comes out? But the criminality was there. We know it's absurd. Peter Strzok interviewed Clinton and also interviewed Michael Flynn. And Michael Flynn should be pardoned tomorrow. What President Trump should do, and if anyone's listening to me in the White House, not that anyone would, if any Trump advisor is listening to me, not that they would, pardon Michael Flynn tomorrow. And get them to impeach Trump on pardoning Flynn because he didn't do anything wrong. They say he lied to Peter Strzok. I don't trust Peter Strzok. Sorry, nobody should. They got him on one thing, allegedly lying to an FBI agent. President Trump, and I explained this in The Federalist, he should just tweet my article in The Federalist. President Trump, before the election, and before Michael Flynn has to go before the judge again, should pardon Michael Flynn. He's an honorable guy. He did nothing wrong. He was not a foreign agent as he was working in the White House. The judge actually misspoke regarding that. Of course, media kind of overlooked the fact that even the judge apologized. But see, Trump, kind of provoking the Democrats into defending AOC, which is what they didn't want to do. He needs to step it up. President Trump needs to pardon Michael Flynn. Let everybody know that I'm saying that, and also that I'm saying that Clinton's running again. But I wrote an article in the Federalist. Check my author page, just H.A. Goodman Federalist. And President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn since there was no collusion. And Mueller's, he needs to preempt, he's been doing a great job completely running circles around the Democratic Party. But what's going to take place is Clinton is going to enter the race either after the second or the third debate. People say, well, she's not running. She would never run. They would lose. They're going to lose anyway. They might as well make money and skim from the top and have a giant grift of all time. And there's a possibility that they win with Clinton. They're not going to, but there's a much better possibility. She's going to outspend Trump. Hollywood is not enamored with Biden. They're not enamored with the Botox cadaver. And they're not enamored with anyone else. Mi nombre es Beto. Me gusta los Estados Unidos. Huh? No? It's like, oh my God. And then you had AOC not long ago. It's like, I don't see nothing wrong with being a bartender. And I explained that in one of my segments. They pander, they pretend, they have this viewpoint of people that is just not reality. And then, of course, Trump is the horrible person. Oh, my God, did you see what Trump did? Did you see what AOC said? Read my Jerusalem Post article. I can't even get into it because the algorithm won't let me. Far more offensive. And there are other representatives that said far more offensive things that Trump did. And you know what? You can look at it as if Democrats demand context at all times, Trump didn't say go. He never said go back anywhere. He never said those words. He said if your policies work, whatever. You know what? It was a crude, hilarious thing. It was hilarious because it was meant specifically to pretend that he cared about Pelosi, who has a Frankenstein monster, a media creation that she can't control now. Media creations. Anyway. Did I mention that Clinton's running again? No, she's not running. Crazy lost it now. I think he's just trolling. Why would it be trolling? Why? Are you petrified that she might run again? Why? Because Biden is better. What? Because Kristen Gillibrand is going to win? Because Bernard Sanders? This is my time to shine. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Oh, no. Put me in cold. Where's the lyrics? I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be in center field and also the new Democratic nominee if you would just let me. Oh, yeah, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. You cheated me in 2016, and then the Russians informed everyone, and that it was actually the Russians' fault for informing everyone, and this is my time to shine today. Look at me, gotta be in center field. Yeah, you think that guy's gonna win? He had his chance, the only chance. When I was writing, and I was a one-man public relations machine for Bernie Sanders. Of course, no doubt the campaign doesn't care, whatever. Doesn't even know who I am. Who cares? The only person on the left who was saying that Clinton could not win, and the only chance they had at that moment was Bernie Sanders, who was a populist voice on the left. That 2016 was a year that a populist could win. Now, theoretically, and I still believe this, purely theoretically now, if you look back, if the media and Democrats rallied around Bernie Sanders, he could have won. He would have won. Because the 70,000 votes that Clinton, they say, well, she outspent Trump 2-1 and she still lost. But Bernie wouldn't have lost those swings, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad Trump won. But I had the pulse of what was going on, at least. And I stated categorically 1,000,000 times that Clinton would lose. The point is, what is all of this for? Okay, I'm passionate, and I say this every day because I'm passionate about it, and it's like, we have been duped as a country to believe that Russia interfered in our election. Who does this benefit? It doesn't benefit, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play today. Okay, he's done. Elizabeth Warren, who failed her DNA test, is already ahead of him now. I mean, that movement turned into a bowel movement. All the people who took it over, like, yeah, Bernie. I said, look, it ain't going to work. Because at the end of the day, all they do is vote for Clinton. They're going to push Clinton. It'll be a special day when AOC backs Clinton. Notice how she's not backing Bernie, you'd think. I thought that Bernie Sanders inspired her, and that was good marketing. And, Warren is like, oh, wow, you drank that beer. That's so fantastic. So who is going to, and people say, dude, she's not going to run. Well, then who? I want a name. Give me a name. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Don't tell me the California Senator, Willie Brown, knows her in a biblical sense. Said that she can't win. And all of them, none of them can't win. None of them can win. So then now who is there? If all these articles are saying that nobody in the current Democratic field can win, who do they have? You want me? But the Russians, they stole the election from me. With Facebook ads. Buff Bernard's Facebook ads. I was just in the woods, drinking a giant bottle of Grey Goose. You want me to run? Oh, but I've been hurt so much. Wisconsin didn't vote for me. I don't know if I could do it again. Okay, fine. I'm back. That's it. She has an Onward Together foundation. Who do you think it's for, And then, like I said, they had to turn into Harry Cox. She's not going to rock us. She's running as a criminal. Losing a pop-up in the sun. She's a criminal. So what? She was a criminal in 2016. Didn't stop her there. There's an actual criminal investigation, which was a farce. And the superdelegates are like, yeah, we're going to go with that one under criminal investigation. Like in 2016, I was like so naive. Like, but there's a criminal investigation. Surely they'll go for the guy who went from 0 to like right near her in the polls. And that person can win. Now, we know that person engaged in cowardly acts, tried to foment the same Cold War that corrupt intelligence officials find. But at that moment, anyway, I think them very confident that they're either going to try to impeach Trump or impeach Trump. They're going to lose at that also. But what better, like Clinton will run and she'll be like, oh, you know what? Because it's going to be Clinton. She's going to be the nominee. If she runs, she's the nominee. She will run, so she will be the nominee. There is no political party. They don't have a political party. I was telling somebody today, yeah, Clinton's going to run. And she said to me, she'll never win. They don't care about winning. They'll win with Beto. They'll win with Elizabeth Warren. They'll win with Botox Biden. I mean, the rebuttal to my statement is not, there are no rebuttals. So, but anyway, they're going to use Mueller's testimony, and it's going to be another shock. And the hilarious thing about the latest tweet is that Trump's got under their skin so deep under their skin, it's driving them mad. They're losing their minds. It's hilarious. They don't know what to do with themselves. It's hilarious. And their outrage meter, in addition to the fact that they cause outrage with their ridiculous, absurd, egregious, offensive statements all the time. Read my Jerusalem Post article on AOC. But they're always offended at everything. And the hilarious thing is that this sentiment that Trump conveyed is a sentiment that people of color who are conservative also agree with. It has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with your political vantage point. It's also bolstered by the fact that it's complain with no specific legislation. So if you're complaining about what's taking place, before it was a manufactured crisis, now it's the humanitarian crisis beyond belief, how about some legislation you could pass through the House? Oh, there's none? Okay, so it's a marketing ploy. So it's a public relations ploy. You don't have any legislation to fix the immigration problem. You don't have any legislation for climate change, but you want to make it an emergency. What about Medicare for all legislation? Medicare for all, we need it, we want it, we love it, and it has to happen.
Well, then why don't you vote for it in the Senate?
Why don't you push the bill? Why don't Democrats push the bill? Oh, that's right. Because they're deceiving everyone like they always do. They live on Twitter. They live in a Twitter universe. It's basically Tron. They don't live in the real world, which is why they're descending into madness. They don't live in the real world. There's an axis of evil. Hello? They took Bush's term, and now it's instead of North Korea, thank God, because he's the first president who actually stepped foot in North Korea, Trump. And he's starting the beginning of peace between North and South Korea. Now it's the axis of evil, Maureen Dowd and Pelosi. I mean, it's hilarious. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. I know that I'm starting to get under people's skin. They're like, I don't want to hear it again. But it's important. It's important.
And you guys clicked it again to hear it.
Would you want to hear Beto's going to win? Would you want to hear Warren's going to win? You know, Warren 1 millionth. Vote for that. I mean, they all get out of it. Well, I was told. That's whatever. Give me your thoughts. Check out HA2A. Subscribe to it. We're over 5,000 subs. It's going to be, and I'm going to be uploading something every single day. P220 and SIG P220 Elite. Check that out. That segment is below. But also today, I think I'm going to upload this SIG P226. 6 Sauer makes great pistols, and it's awesome. But check out my latest segment on HA2A. I'm going to transition that to my new website, which will be a website that will help you defeat any debate with a person who suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. My Patreon link is below in the pinned comment. If you want to support my voice, your support is greatly appreciated. The next year and a half, ladies and gentlemen, will be an honor for me to be with you. It's going to be a fantastic year and a half. And let's put it this way. Somebody writes a hit piece on me. Somebody goes after me on YouTube, and I will, with kid gloves, respond, maybe. I suggest everyone. Almost certainly I won't respond. And I suggest the same with don't get into arguments on social media. If you have family members, listen to me. This is important. Now, this is actually important. You know, I've just been doing my usual, which is important, but not really. I mean, it might not affect your life, but this will. If you have family members, ladies and gentlemen, who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, do not talk to them about the election for the next year and a half. Do what I'm doing with my writing and with this channel, with my other channel, just fly under the radar. Don't get into it. Somebody does a hit piece on me, writes, I'll very politely maybe respond just because I'm in media and, to set the record straight. Maybe, maybe not. But I'll be so polite, especially on this channel. Maybe in HA2A I'll engage in maybe some profanity alerts on HA2A. Maybe. Probably not. But because I don't think it'll go well with the whole point is HA2A will be transitioned to my website that's going to help you defeat anyone in the debate, so it's probably best not to use profanity. But anyway, the point is, do not argue with family members. Do not argue with people you don't know. Do not argue on social media. Do not engage in any type of, don't let anyone belligerent, kind of pull you into their madness, their insanity. Do not let that happen. I am telling everyone, and if you've lasted this long, my 30-minute crowd, let everybody know that 30 minutes in is very, very important. Do not lose any friends or family members who, or get in arguments with people simply because they're so enraged that they have Trump derangement syndrome. They don't see straight. It's not worth it. Engage them in politics maybe after the election when Trump wins again. When they finally kind of realize, oh my God, we've been duped. The left is completely imploded. And anyway, just don't engage with them and, save it for after the election, after Trump wins. Because for the next year and a half, you talk about a toxic, unhealthy environment, social media is going to be completely unhealthy, especially Facebook and Twitter. And, I'm on YouTube. I have my writing. I have my other channel that I'm going to build. So subscribe to HA2A's below in the pinned comment. But this next year and a half is going to be one of the most important time periods in U.S. history. And people are going to be completely losing their mind over things, especially on the left, because they have nothing. They have nothing. I mean, they're running on smoke and mirrors and, exhaust from the whole Russia hoax and, oh my God, Trump is a horrible person. It's the same things they've been utilizing against Trump that haven't worked, and they don't get the message. So it's going to affect their mentality and their brains. Do not get into it with these people, especially if they're family members and especially if they're people you don't know. If they're family members, there's no need to. Because it just creates, more problems. And if they're people you don't know, you certainly don't need to, because, who cares what people you don't know think? Anyway, give me your thoughts below. It's my 2 cents. Trying to look out for the people who are awesome and watch my channel. And thank you very much. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. Thank you.